Welcome back to Deuces Sports Talk Show. I'm Chestor, and I'm joined by
Roebaer.
Stu.
And no Lenei today. Lenei is homesick, well, as we know of, at least.
We miss him dearly.
Yes, we do. Nobody right next to me to talk to. But back with another vidcast this week. We couldn't end up doing one last week, just didn't have the time to edit and whatnot. We're trying to move on with Deuces, trying to make me do some live streams. Who knows? We're just keep moving forward.
It's tough balancing school life and a podcast.
And we promise, we don't promise. Maybe the shirts will be in.
They might.
Like maybe. We might work on shirts. We don't know.
We've worked on a design and we've done all that, but we haven't really gotten the funds and all that.
The logistics.
School life is tough out here.
Yes, it is. Let's start now. The Chiefs, they got a bounce-back win Sunday night versus Las Vegas, and they knocked off the Raiders 41-14. Roebaer, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to be honest, I only watched the first half of the game, and the Chiefs didn't look that great in the first half. Compared to the second half, it looked like they played pretty well in the second half. But, the Raiders are a struggling franchise. Bunch of criminals up on that roster. You hate to see it.
Not anymore.
They got rid of them.
They got rid of them all.
I just feel bad for Raiders fans, and they've been Raiders fans their whole lives, and just how do you cheer for a team that has so much turmoil going on right now?
My take on the game, we finally saw the Mahomes that we've seen the last 2 or 3 years, and as you see, he had 405, obviously his best performance this year, and I don't know, we'll see if he continues it.
I hope so. A very good week. 36 fantasy points. Makes me happy.
Which we'll talk about later as well.
Yes, sir. The Chiefs, they looked good. They got a run game going. Darrell Williams had a nice night. Pretty much all you could ask for. Defense played well. The only downfall about the defense is Dirty Dan got a pick, so now we have to keep him. So, but all in all, pretty good win.
I just hope the Raiders can get things back going again because it's obviously tough to play right now for them.
And the Chiefs are back in first place in the division, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. It's a tight race, though. But it seems like every other team in that division is falling apart.
Yeah, the Chargers are frauds.
Why?
Yeah, there are a lot of frauds in our division.
The Broncos have stayed consistent, which,
Consistently average.
Yeah.
But it just feels like the Raiders and Chargers are starting to dip down a little bit.
Starting to show who they really are. I think another one to talk about would be the game coming up this week. They play Dallas at home, big-time game this week. We'll get into the pick 'em later, so don't make your picks yet, but just talk a little about it.
Obviously, if you're betting on this game, definitely take the over. Defenses seem to be almost non-existent in this game. But, I feel like Dallas, if they want to win this game, they got to establish the ground game because I feel like when they start moving to an air raid type offense, they seem to struggle, as you could see what they tried to do with the Broncos, not running it a lot, and just struggled. But if they kind of run a balanced offense, I think the Cowboys can get it done, but it's definitely going to be a close one going against Mahomes on the other side.
Yeah, I think it'll be a shootout, as Roebaer said, but I think whichever quarterback has the ball at the end of the game is going to get the win. That's my take on the game.
It's going to be a tough one. See how Dak handles the pressure playing Arrowhead. He didn't look very good against the Broncos, so, I don't know. I don't know about the Cowboys. They've had a pretty easy schedule at this point, but that's not saying I don't think they're bad. I'm just saying they have had a pretty easy schedule, and I like the Chiefs' chances a lot. If they can keep the ground game going, we'll see.
You're going to have an easy schedule when you're in the NFC East. Half of your games are just going to be cakewalks, so,
especially you play the Giants twice a year. That's too easy dubs.
And the football team.
Eagles.
The Eagles are getting better, but
if Tyreek or Trayvon Diggs is on Tyreek Hill might have himself a day. Just saying. Trayvon Diggs, I think, is overrated.
He's going to get number 9 this week.
Does he have 9 or 8?
He has 8 right now.
Oh, okay.
He had a pick last week again.
I think he's overrated. I really do. I think he's gotten that one play against the Falcons. That throw wasn't even close.
It
and it just
right
landed. He got cooked. And then Matt Ryan made a horrible throw and it went right into his hands.
It's like the Jameis Winston of cornerbacks.
Yeah.
He'll get you picks, but he'll give up a ton of yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad. I think he's ball hawk. But like sometimes you need players like that on your roster. You can't have a Darrell Revis out there.
Yeah, I kind of
just
feel like
locking people up.
I feel like he'd be better at safety, honestly, where he could just sit over the top and then
Mhm.
take away passes like that
Mm-hmm.
when guarding somebody.
But I mean, providing more chances for your offense definitely seems to sometimes outweigh giving up a lot of yards.
I think the difference though in this game is how the Chiefs can stop Zeke. He's really picking it up, and has been a big factor of that Cowboys offense. So that'd be my take. This week, Cam Newton came back, scored a touchdown, and yelled, "I'm back."
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns, yeah. Threw one and ran one in. He's preparing to start this week versus Washington. First start since last season when he started with the Patriots. But would this be two or 3 years since he started with the Panthers? I know he's hurt one of those years, but
I think it'll be 3.
yeah.
'Cause he had 2 at New England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Roebaer, what are your thoughts on this?
Personally, I don't think Cam is back, honestly. I mean, you go in there and put that bowling ball in and gets a rushing touchdown. But, I mean, definitely an easy matchup against the Washington football team. But, I mean, it'd be cool to see him get back to his old form. I don't think he ever will, but I think he could be a jumpstart to this struggling Panthers team right now that just seems to have a lack of chemistry, honestly, on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they've started out really hot, and then Sam Darnold started playing bad and brought the whole team morale down. And, I mean, it seems like they're starting to pick it back up by Millie rocking the Cardinals.
I mean, yeah, Cam Newton, obviously, I think he's going to help the Panthers just because Sam Darnold was horrible. And I don't know. I think Robbie Anderson will start to play a little better considering there's a new quarterback change. But other than that, I think they'll be about the same.
I think their offense is completely jump-started now. I mean, McCaffrey doesn't have to necessarily have as big of a load on him. I mean, he still had like 30-some touches.
Yeah.
It was insane. Scored 20-some fantasy points and
26,
and didn't even score a touchdown. And that isn't even the first time he's done it this week or this year. He's done it like 2 or 3 times this year already. But I mean, P.J. Walker didn't even look bad this week, in my opinion. I thought he made good throws, but he's still not your guy. Like, you can't, put your money on P.J. Walker. I don't know if you could put it on Cam either, but he does bring a leadership that is big for them. And, I mean, easy game this week. They should be able to win against the football team. I mean, but that being said, they did beat the Bucs last week, so
yeah,
can't go out there and just have a cakewalk. Let's move over to college football. And Stu brought up a good point with Oklahoma's loss this week. Can a Big 12 team make the playoff?
No. I mean, I don't really think any of the teams really have a chance. I feel like probably it's going to end up happening is Oklahoma's going to take out Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship and just ruin it for everyone there. And just the Big 12 is, I mean, I wouldn't say down this year, but it's like more solid all around this year. I mean, like they're not having a top dog in Oklahoma really this year, but it's definitely pretty solid from top to bottom.
Yeah, I think the only way that a Big 12 team would have a chance at making it is if Baylor wins out or if Oklahoma wins out, and then it's still a stretch from there. So right now, I don't think any Big 12 team will make a chance or have a chance at making it.
I agree. I don't think there is a chance. Just because it's one of those conferences where, like, everyone beats each other up so much. And, yeah, I mean, you saw it this week. Baylor was able to knock off Oklahoma. And also the way that the Big 12 championship game is, you have to beat a team twice to win it. Yeah. So it's really hard to even do that in a season. So it's going to be very hard for any Big 12 team to make it.
And it's also hard to get a spot when 2 SEC teams are going to be in it regardless. So.
And more than likely the Big 10 champ.
Yeah.
And then maybe Cincy, who knows, maybe Oregon. Depends.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of your mind! Hey, get out of your mind! Get out of your mind!
Let's move over to Cat Chat. K-State, another W. They moved to 7-3. Roebaer was at the game. A thrallop over West Virginia.
Yeah, the Cats pretty much ran it down West Virginia's throat. I mean, it just didn't seem like the West Virginia offense could capitalize. Obviously, special teams struck again, blocking a punt, taking it back for 6. It seems to always happen. Big game this week at Bill Snyder family. It's definitely be a good game. This defense has been playing well lately, and maybe, it just felt like they got gashed by West Virginia, but I looked, and they only gave up 80 yards rushing, which isn't a horrible total. This Baylor team definitely depends on the run heavily, so I think if the Cats can clog up that run game, I think they definitely stand a chance.
Yeah, I think Felix Ndike Uzame, however you say it, he's been
4 sacks this week.
Yeah, key part of our defense this year, and our defense has really played well. Obviously against West Virginia, only gave up 17 points.
Yeah,
even though West Virginia is not the greatest, I think our defense is gonna have to pick it up against Baylor for us to have a chance to win.
It's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a fun one to watch. But once again, Deuce Vaughn goes for over 100 yards rushing, so that's the key to winning this week versus Baylor. They look really solid. K-State is, I think, the best they've looked all season, even at a 3-0 start when they got in the rankings at 25th. I'm not saying that they haven't beat anybody like crazy good, but just doing their job, doing what they need to do to win.
Kind of like winning in good fashion. Like they're not barely escaping these wins. They're having good, solid, quality wins, and just like the Jayhawks this week, got it done in Texas. And personally, I don't think Texas makes a bowl game this year.
Mm-mm.
They have West Virginia this week, and then the Cats in the final week.
Are they 4-6?
Mhm.
They have to
They gotta
win
win
both. I don't think they do.
If they get 6-6, I don't think they should make it.
Bijan's out for the season.
6 wins gets you in a bowl game, so
Bijan's out for the season.
yeah, they ain't make it.
Ending knee surgery.
Let's talk about KU, in fact, since we're on the topic. What
Jared
a win.
Casey.
Jared Casey. Saw it all over Twitter. Caught the game-winning touchdown.
Horns down.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I'd ever root for KU, but that one time I was rooting for him because it's, KU football fans make their heads grow size of a room after winning one game, but good for them, They always need a confidence booster after just getting Millie rocked by K-State at home. Just good to boost their confidence going into basketball season.
I saw this thread on Twitter that was like all the emotions of the game. Like this guy was like just in the stands at the game and he's a KU fan. And it's just so funny because he's out there, cheering and they're up like 21 and then hands on his head when it's tied and then at the end of the game just going nuts. It was funny. It was a long thread. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into a stardom, sit-em. Roebaer, who's your stardom and sit-em?
My stardom this week is Rashad Bateman. His receiving share has definitely gone up ever since he's came back from his injury, and I think he's just going to continue on that and build off of that because it definitely seems like the Ravens have to move away from the run a little bit to get their offense going. They just released Le'Veon Bell, which, makes sense. They have a bunch of backs in the backfield, but I feel like they should be giving the ball more to Bateman.
My stardom this week is Dave Montgomery. He's just coming back off his injury, and he played pretty well last game. I think he got a touchdown. Did he?
I don't
Who?
think so.
Montgomery?
He didn't get a touchdown.
Against the Steelers, I don't think he did.
But he looked solid out there, and the Bears have a pretty easy schedule coming up in the next few weeks, so I'd definitely start Dave this week.
Especially when he was healthy. He was cooking teams left and right.
He definitely helps the Bears offense.
My stardom is Brandon Cooks. They play Tennessee this week. Definitely a guy that I wouldn't necessarily put a receiver to, but definitely the flex position. So you said he went for 13 last week?
Something like that, yeah.
You're going to have to throw.
Yeah. And Tennessee's secondary has shown some flaws at times, so definitely a guy that I would pick up for the flex if expect a solid 15 or even 15+ from him. What's your sit-em?
My sit-em is Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming off of his injury, and it seems like Darrell Williams is kind of having a hold of this backfield right now. I definitely don't think they'll just throw him in there full. I think maybe the next week he might be all right, but Dallas is a solid run defense, and I just don't think Clyde has a good week.
My sit-em this week is Mike Williams, and they play the Steelers on Sunday night. Mike Williams really hasn't looked too good other than the first, 4 or 5 games of the year where he went off. But I don't think he's broke 10 fantasy points in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
He's like 20 plus or less than 10 every time.
Yeah. So, yep, I'm sitting Mike Williams this week.
That's a good sit-em. Chargers have been
Thanks.
Chargers have been
Beating Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
lately.
and very downhill as of late. My
And
sit-em,
Mr. Pound for Pound. Don't forget about him.
my sit-em is Zach Moss versus the Colts. The Bills have a struggling run game, and I think that's the reason why they lost to the Jags. One of the worst losses of the season at this point, and playing the Colts, that's not going to be an easy task to get any run game going. That's going to be a good game. I think it'll be an under-the-radar type game this week. Let's move over to Fantasy Player of the Week. Our Fantasy Player of the Week was Patrick Mahomes. Went for 36 fantasy points this week.
Boo. Yeah, he had a good week against the struggling Raiders team. Definitely surprising. I wasn't expecting a huge performance from him after he struggled severely these last few weeks.
Yeah, he didn't look all that great up until the Raiders game this season, and he really played like he has in the last 3 years, as I said earlier.
Played like his salary.
Yeah. Yeah.
No kidding. I mean, you got to love a good game from Mahomes. That was just beautiful. 406 and 5. No picks. That's also a good one. It's good to see that the Chiefs' offense might be back. Might be. I know it's the Raiders.
Test this week.
Might be back. It'll be a tough one, though, this week. But obviously, to see him get Kelsey involved, too, that's what they needed to do, and that's what he did. Was he the leading scorer in all of fantasy this week?
I think
Or just
Mahomes
quarterbacks?
was, yep.
Definitely quarterbacks, but 36. Not an interesting week for fantasy, say the
Yeah,
least.
no really outliers like James Conner last week.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of solid performances all around the board.
Let's move over to boom or bust, where I'll just list some players, and we'll decide on boom or bust.
I hope Devontae Adams is not listed this week.
My first one is Ramondre Stevenson. Went for like 28 or something on your bench.
Who do they play this week?
I have no idea.
They're on Thursday night versus the
Yeah.
Falcons.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
I think Damian Harris is probably going to be back. So, I mean, I don't think he booms, but I don't think he'll do horrible. So I'm probably going to lean towards bust. 'Cause I just don't think he'll go off again.
Yeah, I'm going to say bust as well because I think Damian Harris is obviously the running back one in that offense, and I think he'll take most of the load.
Yeah. I think he busts this week. I think last week was just kind of a fluke, and the Browns defense and team is just totally dismantled. So, yeah, I'm gonna go bust. Elijah Moore on the Jets.
Against the Dolphins, give me bust because, I mean, Corey Davis is back, and if Mike White's playing, it just doesn't seem like Elijah Moore has that type of offense because he's just checked down Charlie to either Michael Carter or Ty Johnson.
I'm going to say bust because I think Zach Wilson is questionable, but he's supposed to play, and I haven't liked Zach Wilson this year, so I'm going to say bust.
Zach Wilson's not good.
No, but neither is Mike White. I know we had that one show where we said Mike White.
I was the only one that didn't. I was the only one that didn't buy in on that.
Hey, I didn't.
He's
I
got.
said if he has another solid week,
Yeah.
maybe I would consider it.
You two, you and Study were all in.
I just said if you had a guy that was hurt, like your quarterback, or bye week, pick him up, see what he does.
To the
But
pick machine.
8 picks in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy.
not good.
I'm going bust for him as well. Packers running back Aaron Jones is out, so A.J. Dillon will get the start. Boom or bust.
Boom. I mean, he's going to have a majority of the workload, obviously, there in Green Bay. They don't have much as a third string. And struggling Minnesota run defense, I think A.J. Dillon has a good game.
What's he projected?
17.
I'm going to go bust. I mean, obviously, he's going to have a huge workload, but I think they're going to throw the ball a lot more than usual. And I don't think he'll bust, but he'll be around 10 to 15 fantasy points.
Because he could catch. He's going to catch all Aaron Jones targets that comes out of the backfield.
I think he I think he booms as well. He came in last week and got 2 touchdowns. I know one was kind of a mop-up touchdown, but still. And, I mean, 17's a lot to ask for from A.J. Dillon, but I still think he can boom and get into the 20 range because the Packers' offense has not looked too crazy, and they need a run game. They need.
It does have. His quads are bigger than Saquon's, I think.
Healthier, definitely.
Then the final guy I have is Devontae Smith. He's gone for the same amount, 22.6 the past 2 weeks. They play New Orleans.
I mean, New Orleans is not a good pass defense, but I don't trust Jalen Hurts' throwing ability at all. So I think he busts because I don't really think this New Orleans offense is that good, and I just don't think it's a very close game, and I think they don't have to throw it that much.
Yeah, I think he's gonna bust because last week he had 3 receptions, 2 of them for touchdowns.
Yeah, something like that.
Or
It was
something
4.
4 receptions. Yeah, bust. I don't
Uh,
think he'll find the end zone twice.
I think he finds it once, but I don't think he booms. I think he's just like right around. He's projected 12 right now. I think he sits right around the 10 range. So I wouldn't say. I mean, would you call it a bust? I think it's just sitting right where he's projected. That's what I think about Devontae Smith. Personally,
Mid.
Yeah, very, very mid. But he's gonna be a superstar if they can find him a quarterback. Jalen Hurts needs to figure some stuff out. Let's move over to our underdog picks. Only 3 this week. Obviously, no Lenei, Roebaer.
I'm kind of reaching for this one, honestly. Hoping for a shootout in this one. But I think SMU can get it done this week against Cincinnati at Cincinnati. I mean, this offense is putting up a lot of points on the board. Tanner Mordecai is just lighting up the scoreboard, and I think SMU can do that to the Bearcats.
My underdog this week is Stanford over Cal. I don't really have any reasoning for it. They were just an underdog that I thought had a chance.
Yeah, Lenny's the only one to get an underdog last week, so he's back in the pick'em race. I'll list those records here later. No, it's close. It's all like 1 point now. I'm serious. I'll let you know what they are. Here, my underdog is Iowa State over Oklahoma this week. Oklahoma doesn't look very good.
Put Rattler back in, please. Let Rattler do his thing. Rattler's a good quarterback.
Caleb Williams is better.
Yeah.
If you watched any of the games before Williams started, Rattler looked horrible.
Rattler had a good year last year, though.
Not this year. Nobody cares
It's
about
different.
last year.
Yeah. It's different.
He's proved himself before.
I know, but I'd still go. I'll take my chances with Iowa State. But let's go over to pick 'em. The records here. With Lenny not being here today, he'll just send him his pick 'em in. And
We'll fax it to
yeah, he'll send us a postcard with a stamp on it. Right now in first place, Roebaer. He's got 39 points. Went 4-6 last week.
Not very good.
We got a tie for second place right now at 37.
No way.
Me and Stu.
A tie?
I went 5-5 last
I had
week.
2 wins last week.
I had 2 picks. 2-8 performance from Stuwart both at 37. And Lenny with his underdog pick last week. Another solid week in Pick'em at 5-5 is now in fourth at 36.
Wow. 3-point spread? Oh, my goodness.
And you guys have been saying this has been a 2-man race the whole year.
I mean,
And it's still a 2-man race. I mean, I'm not worried, obviously, sitting in the captain's seat, but, I mean, definitely my dog Stu over there. I mean, he'll hold his ground this week. I believe in him. I need you to stay up there,
Thanks,
Stu.
Roebaer.
Our first game, it's a big one. Big Ten title hopes and playoff hopes early on the line for this one. Number 7, Michigan State Spartans travel to Ohio State.
I mean, I just got 2 words. C.J. Stroud. I mean, can you bet against the guy, really? He's going to light up the Spartans this week. I mean, I think Kenneth Walker struggles, and then I think Trevion Henderson outplays Kenneth Walker this week because Trevion Henderson is a pretty good rookie running back, and I think Buckeyes get it done. Or whatever, freshman.
C.J. Stroud did not show up against Tulsa, though, earlier this year. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
He had like 5 touchdowns last week. What? like 5 touchdowns against Purdue.
I know
Dismantling-
Purdue's really good to you. 'cause
An
you know
absolute
that.
dismantling of Purdue.
Well, I got one word for you guys. Ohio. I'm taking the Buckeyes this week.
I'm gonna follow that one up with another Ohio. Go Buckeyes.
Can't bet against CJ. Heisman candidate.
I think Kenneth Walker has a big day, but I'm still taking Ohio State in a blowout. Then, well, we promised that we'd do every ranked game between 2 ranked teams, and 25th ranked Arkansas plays number 2 Alabama. Roebaer.
Roll Tide. I mean, I think it's closer in the spread. I think the spread's like 20. Alabama hasn't been playing that great, but I mean, can you really bet against the Tide?
No, I'm taking Bama as well.
If this was earlier in the year, I would have considered Arkansas, but then they got dismantled on the road by Georgia, and it wasn't even, like, I don't even know if they got the ball on the other side of the field till maybe like the fourth quarter when Georgia had the backups.
Seems like
in.
almost every team does that.
Yeah, no kidding. And on the road, Arkansas stands no chance. Alabama, big. Our third game, interesting one, number 3 Oregon. They travel to number 24 Utah.
The favored Utah.
Utah's favored by like 3.
Be honest, I don't know a single person on the Utah roster. This is definitely not doesn't happen very often for me. But I mean, I think Oregon will get it done this week. Anthony Brown and CJ Verdell and Troy Dye will get it done.
Yeah, I'm going to take Oregon as well, as I don't know anyone on Utah. I barely know a few players on Oregon. So I'm taking
Kayvon
Oregon.
Thibodeau.
I mean, yeah, the first pick is probably on Oregon.
Justin
But,
Flo.
I mean, Oregon's got that great defense. I worry about their offense, and I think it'll be a shootout. I'm going Utah. I've picked
I'm
against
up one
Oregon.
already.
You're
I'm
going with the
already
Utes?
up one.
I have picked against Oregon a lot, and this week is the week that they finally lose.
Oof.
I mean, I didn't really know much about either
I-
team except Oregon's beat Ohio State, so I took the team who's favored.
Garrett's giving me a handicap this week. Already got one on you.
Our fourth game, number 13 Baylor. They travel to Kansas State. We talked about it in Cat Chat. Now we pick it.
Oh, I actually have not. I haven't put anything down on my sheet yet because I'm binded on who to go with here. I mean, I feel like Baylor's a great football team. They can run the ball really well, but I mean, the Cats at home. Can you really bet against Deuce Vaughn and Skylar Thompson at home? I'm going with the Cats this week.
Yeah, obviously that atmosphere at Bill Snyder is going to play a huge
Electric.
factor into this game,
Electric.
as we might get a few Whedon boys on third down.
Mhm.
I can already imagine.
You get out of your minds.
Mhm.
I'm going to take the Cats.
Yep.
Deuce Vaughn.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a good game. Like you said, a tough atmosphere. And
Baylor's
Bill's-
actually not favored. in
Bill
this one.
Snyder. I
It's
thought
a
they were
pick 'em. It's a
favored.
pick 'em.
I thought they were favored by 1.
No, it's
pick 'em.
It's pick 'em.
Yeah, it's a tough one to pick. I'm gonna be honest because Baylor to me is played really good at times, and at other times they haven't. And K-State is hot right now, 7-3, 4 straight wins. But I'm gonna go with Gary Bohannon and the Baylor Bears
knew that
on
was
the
too.
road.
I knew that was coming.
Up two.
I hope the Cats get it done this week. You know,
I'm a little bit
huge win.
surprised they're not ranked. I'm gonna be honest. I thought after 4 straight,
If they
might
win
get
this
in.
week, I think they're in the teens ranked. Honestly, like a 19.
Probably, yeah, possibly high teens.
Then lose to Texas probably
Every time K-State gets in the rankings, they lose.
all the time.
Final college game: Wake Forest goes at Clemson.
I mean, if you had told me we were actually picking this game at the start of the season, I'd call you crazy. And then if you told me Wake Forest was favored, I'd call you even crazier. But I mean, I think
They're
the
not.
Demon.
And
I think the Demons.
They're
Clemson's
not
favored.
favored.
They're actually.
No,
Clemson's
Clemson favored by 3, but I'm
4.
4.
I thought. I mean, I think the Demon Deacons are going to get it done this week. Sam Hartman and that offense is just flowing. And then, I mean,
Here he goes again. Sam Hartman.
I'm a Sam Hartman fan. I'm a Sam Hartman fan.
I think DJ Ooga Boogie will have a decent week.
Ooga Boogie.
I think I'm gonna.
I don't even know if he's starting.
Well, if he's not, That's probably good for Tiger
Who's
fans.
the backup?
He's got a long last name too.
Probably some 5-star.
Yeah, I know.
Jaren's flying out there.
Yeah, Jaron knows the guy.
knows a guy.
I'm going to take the Tigers this week.
Yeah, I've said it once. I'll say it again. Wake Forest are a bunch of frauds. I don't care what you say about Sam Hartman.
All in.
They proved it last week against NC State.
Did they, though? Like, NC State's like ranked 19th.
I mean, it's still a quality win.
All right. I'm all in on the Tigers. Clemson. Let's move over to the NFL. Cincinnati. I wrote down Oakland on our sheet, but it's the Las Vegas Raiders.
We know. Who dey? I think Joe Burrow and the Bengals will bounce back this week against a struggling Las Vegas Raiders team, and I think the Bengals get it done. Who dey?
Yeah, who day? I'm going to take the Bengals over the struggling Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders.
I think both these teams are overrated, personally. I think Cincinnati, I had their little stretch there, but then they dropped 2 in a row. I'm going with Las Vegas. I think
What's the reason behind that?
Hunter Renfrow.
There's another handicap. Hunter Renfrow is the reason behind your You're
Hey,
banking.
I like that. I like that.
You're
First in Renfro. Second in Renfro.
And Ruggs is going to have a big day, too.
He only had like 5 catches last week.
John Gruden's got something
John
dialed up
Gruden's
this
got
week.
something dialed up. There's a trick play for Henry Ruggs, I heard, and then, I just don't. I'm going with Las Vegas. I like their chances at
What's your
home.
reason behind that?
They're gonna
Hunter Renfrow.
And Darren Waller. Darren Waller's going to have a breakout game. He has been horrible the past few weeks, and he had a touchdown taken back.
Henry Ruggs is going to run a crash concept. He's going to run the wheel route, and we're just going to get a long touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Might get the top speed of the year.
Speed. Speed kill.
No. You're canceled, Garrett.
I saw that, actually. That was a tweet.
You're canceled.
Move on.
Yeah. Saints and Eagles.
As much as I don't really support Jalen Hurts here, I mean, Trevor Siemian. You're really gonna bank on Trevor Siemian here? I mean, I think Philadelphia will get it done this week.
Yeah, I think Goddard and the Eagles will handle the
Eagles fly.
Kamara
Sure.
Ran Saints.
I think the Eagles have a legit chance to maybe get in the playoffs 8 and 9. Like, literally. It's not they have a pretty the NFC is not good. But I'm going with the Saints. Trevor Siemian. They went on the road at
Trevor
Tennessee.
Siemian and what receivers? Deontay Harris.
No,
You're banking on Deontay Harris and Traquan Smith.
Banking on
Maybe Alvin Kamara playing.
the Saints have like receivers every week that make their first catch since like 2017. They just pull them out. I don't know where they find them, but they just grab them from anywhere they can find them.
Who?
Yeah, I list these players. For
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I haven't heard of these dudes.
Marquez Callaway.
Yeah, I heard
Dog.
him.
Traquan.
Dog.
Deontay
Oh, did you
Harris.
see those
Dog.
Taysom Hill. Jaron Kanik, I mean.
Dog.
Sports Center top 10, number 2.
All right, moving on.
Move on.
Green Bay versus Minnesota.
Go Pack Go. I mean, I really don't think Minnesota's that good of a football team, and I think Green Bay gets it done. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Green Bay as well. I think the only reason Minnesota won was just because how poor the Chargers are right now. So I'm taking the Packers.
I'm going with the Packers as well. A little clean sweep on that one. Minnesota's better than a lot of teams in the league, but not as good, better than the Packers. Now we got the game that we talked about earlier, Dallas and Kansas City. They go to Kansas City.
I'm very split on this decision personally. I mean, you look at the rosters and they're almost similar. I mean, good weapons and then both terrible defenses. But I mean, I think it just comes down to the quarterback, and honestly, I trust Patrick Mahomes to win a game before I trust Dak Prescott to win a game. So I think the Chiefs will get it done this week.
Good pick, Roebaer. I'm gonna take the Chiefs as well.
I already knew what you guys are picking before I even started, but
And I'm gonna go ahead and talk for Garrett real quick. I think I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
There's
and
no
Patrick
way in the
Mahomes
wor-
is gonna have a really good
there's
fantasy
no
week
way in
'cause
the
he's
world
on my
Garrett
team.
would bet against the Chiefs.
Well, you guys are actually not right. Not right. I
Shut up! No way. You picked-
did. I'm going with Dallas.
I'm blindsided right now.
Now,
There's no handicap.
as much as I hope the Chiefs win this game, I'll be cheering for the Chiefs.
Back up 5 on Pick'em, Roebaer.
As much as I hope the Chiefs win, and I'll be cheering for them on Sunday afternoon, I think that Dallas team looks good. I don't know if we can stop the run.
I think sometimes you just gotta push with your heart, like me and Stu, pushing the Cats with our heart. I mean, you just gotta roll with the heart sometimes, and it's not
Still
the brain.
taking the Cowboys after that Millie rocking by the Broncos.
I bet they just Miller rocked the Falcons, so they made up for it.
I mean, it's the Falcons, but it also is the Broncos.
Half the team was hurt. Cordero, Ridley didn't do anything.
Ridley's been out the whole year.
Gavin Myers let us know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I as much as I want to go with the Chiefs, let's just pick them. I'm back in the race. It's getting serious now. I'm going with Dallas.
Still, I mean, move on.
What?
Cardinals and Seahawks.
I'm back in the race. Seattle sucks from top to bottom. Just terrible, pitiful, just
Jeez.
abysmal.
What'd they do to you?
I mean, they have no offense. I mean,
This keeps
horrible
going.
play calling. But I mean,
What's your motive behind this, Roebaer?
Did
I
Pete
just
Carroll do something
I
to
mean,
you?
they're just ruining Russell Wilson's career. I mean, we'll trade Russell Wilson for a bag of chips on the Bears, and like we'll be a playoff team. But like they're just wasting his career. And I think K1 and the Cardinals can bounce back a little bit this week and get back on what they've been doing since Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins decided to take 2 weeks off.
I think whether it's Colt McCoy-led Cardinals or Kyler Murray-led Cardinals,
It don't matter.
I think they're getting the dub over the sorry Seahawks this week.
I mean, I'm not going to say it, but I do agree with Roebaer. But, like, I didn't have to go off like that on the Seahawks.
I mean, Garrett's going to bring up his speech that he's brought up in 4 or 5 podcasts that Pete Carroll is ruining Russell Wilson's career.
He is. And I'm going to go with the Cardinals because of that.
Nice.
Bold.
There we go. That will wrap up another edition of Deuces Sports Talk Show. Don't forget to check out our Instagram at deuces.sports1 and make sure to give a like and follow. Thanks for listening.
Deuces.